Oil prices climbing this morning. Brent and West Texas Intermediate both up about half of a dollar per barrel. $1.19, $1.20 for Brent, $1.19 for West Texas Intermediate. This is the national average for a gallon of regular unleaded, hitting an all-time high this morning of $4.86 a gallon. Diesel at another new record high of $5.64 a gallon today. Joining me now, the chairman and CEO of United Refining Company, Gristedes and D'Agostino Foods, also the Red Apple Group chief, John Catsimatidis. John, will this only get worse for the American people?
It will get worse, which is very, very sad. It doesn't have to happen. As I said before last week, I said it last week, a recession does not have to happen. What the obsession that President Biden has with not turning on the spigots in North America, in Canada, Alaska, and let America, North America, we have 100 years worth of oil. Let them open up the spigots, and the price of crude oil will come back down to 55, 60, maybe 65, half. Nobody can understand. All the people I talk to, nobody can understand why this obsession with North America. He wants to fly to Saudi Arabia and beg the Saudi Arabians to give us another 500,000 barrels at $120 a barrel. Does that make any sense at all? It makes no sense. Because what's going to happen? Instead of bringing down the price of oil and controlling recession, increase the price of interest rates, and guess what? It'll wipe out the real estate industry. It'll wipe out everything else in America. Somebody is on a path to try to destruct America, and somebody has to say, guys, enough is enough. I hope we have enough common sense Democratic senators to say enough is enough. Why are we destroying America? You know what the cost has been to the American people because of the rising gas prices, the cost of the rising food prices? It's going to go even higher with $120 oil. It's going to go even higher. I mean, I am begging. I'm begging the White House. I am begging President Biden. Enough is enough. I'm begging the Democratic senators. Enough is enough. Turn on the spigots in North America. Don't go and beg Iran for crude oil for $120, make them richer. Don't beg Saudi Arabia for crude oil. Don't beg Venezuela for crude oil. We have it. And nobody can understand it.
I agree with you. Nobody can understand it.
Global diesel shortage is imminent. Economic slowdown is the main column on Reuters. This is getting scary. Let's read on. Global distillate fuel oil shortages signal the business cycle is peaking, and a period of slower growth or even a recession, which I believe by the numbers recently on the economy, we are in it already. It's imminent to bring consumption back in line with production. The resulting shortages and the soaring prices show the economy is running into binding capacity constraints and must enter a slower growth phase until more refining capacity can be made available. Sanctions, key word here. Sanctioning Russia for invading Ukraine is the problem that has nothing to do with us here in the West. Is a major problem, just my opinion. America should stay out and stop interfering with situations that are none of our business. We should be getting better here with our own problems. For God's sakes, we just got out of a pandemic. But anyway, let's continue. Sanctions and boycotts on petroleum exports from Russia, a major exporter of distillates, especially to Europe, are reducing availability even further and intensifying upward pressure on prices. So what is going on? See and get more information. Editor, roll clip, fair use.
Rapid rise in diesel prices are squeezing truckers and, of course, their customers. Madison Allworth has the story. Madison, You're taking a ride in a big rig. Look at you. You look absolutely like you are where you're supposed to be. You look a natural. How is the trucking industry adjusting to the surge in prices? I guess that's the question.
Yeah. Hey, Ashley. Good morning. Yes, I look like a natural, but this is my first time in a truck like this. So to answer that question, I want to bring in Angel A-Rod. He's been driving trucks for 20 years. He's going to keep his eye on the road because we're heading to his first delivery spot of the day. So first, I want to look at the diesel prices, Angel. You've been doing this 20 years. Have you seen prices like this before? What do you think when you look at these prices?
Never this high. It's way too high.
And so Ashley asked, what are you as a trucker doing to try to save on that fuel? What are the tricks that you take to try to keep your fuel usage as long as possible?
Well, we try to stay within the speed limit so you can cruise down, but also no idling. We try not to idle the trucks, and whenever they're not running, just turn them off. That's all you can really do.
Right, that's all you can really do, Ashley. There's no way to avoid these diesel prices. I want to give you a look at where they stand today. Nationally, we're looking at over $5.50 a gallon, but here in the Northeast, it's even worse. You're looking at well over $6 a gallon for diesel, and with truck companies like this one, they take a lot of diesel fuel. I also spoke to the CEO. He says it's a real crunch for the company. I want to give you a listen to what he had to say earlier this morning.
It's an unprecedented first time that we've seen this kind of rapid escalation to this level. Yeah, I mean, it's an expense. It's a key operating expense, and with this kind of escalation, we try to break even on it, and sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't.
So this is a family-owned company. They've been in business nearly 100 years. I asked his take also on the release potentially of the home heating oil reserve. That's something that the Biden administration is considering. He doesn't really think that would bring a lot of relief, Ashley, because in the Northeast, the reserve is about 1 million barrels. And our Northeast consumption is 1 million barrels a day, so he doesn't think it would do a lot. Lot to think about when it comes to home to diesel prices, Ash.
Yeah. All right, Madison, great report, and thank Angel for multitasking for us this morning as well.
Prices here are ticking up, and so is the pain. Another day, another petrol price record. It now costs over £95 to fill an average tank with unleaded, over £100 to fill it with diesel. Costly for all motorists, crippling for cabbies like Javid.
Maybe I thinking if too much expensive, I have to look in another job. Yeah, otherwise I carry on this job. But this my job, like 17 years.
The causes are complex, but the war is clearly key. Just look at what's happened to the oil price, peaking in March when the invasion first happened, and now again as Russian supplies sanction further.
The UK doesn't actually get all that much oil from Russia, and it's already being phased out. But Russia's sheer dominance in the global market means that any uncertainty over it pushes up prices for everyone. And those price rises aren't just felt by people at the pumps, but they trickle down, touching so many other parts of the economy and pushing up other prices yet further.
One key way that happens can be found here. Haulage firms shouldering this country's logistics heavy lifting. There's barely a good on the market that won't at some point be loaded on and driven in trucks like these. Everything from furniture to food, from clothes to chemicals, all exposed to the fuel price.
Hey guys, it's Jose, your regular Joe Blow again, keeping an eye out and my ears open on the topic of diesel. This is scary, but first, this is not advice. Do your own research, as always. I'm not a professional. So what does this mean for me? Everything runs on diesel, from ship to refined jet fuel to the regular high-lows in the warehouse that move the pallets and all the products onto the trucks, which comes to the shelves, and also emergency generators in hospitals. Just to name a few. Prepare, guys, for more price hikes in everything. If you start seeing Europe, London panic, it's only a matter of time for us to feel it. Pay attention to the other side, since they are closer to the situation in Ukraine. They will be hit first, further letting us know when it will come over to the US. Thank you guys for sticking with me to the end. God bless. Stay free.
It ain't hard to tell. I excel, then prevail.